Hello, and it is very late at night. I should probably be going to bed, but I need to give an update on the Iceland volcano. So, we have a lot more news developing about the Icelandic volcano. We have, first of all, here. So, we have 3 quakes magnitude 2.0 or greater. And I need to show, because some may think that this is unnormal for volcanoes to randomly go somewhat seismically mute during volcanic eruptions. However, that is not the case. On this graph, you can see it's just because there's not a lot more rock to break through that the magma has to get through, so it's just easier for it. Now, I wanted to show that also, as you can see on this plot, the lower, by the way, the lower it is, it's deeper, which means it's supplying stuff from the mantle. And you can pretty much, consider that most of the activity that's going on is within Krisuvik, or although you can't trust all of it because some of it is in that Astja and Grímsvötn, because Grímsvötn is going under both volcanoes, but Astja to a lesser extent are both becoming more active, and there's a relatively medium chance that they might erupt. However, you can't place bets because that's just not how it works. Now, so all these earthquakes are occurring, right? You can just see if it's Geilir or Krisuvik. You can definitely tell that they're nearby. So we still have earthquakes at these depths, which means magma is still moving in. So yeah. Now I wanted to show, as I was saying, the Icelandic volcano Astja and Grímsvötn are both undergoing volcanic activity. Although Grímsvötn isn't completely, it isn't confirmed that it's completely volcanic in origin, so you can't yet say that. However, they have raised the alert levels from green to yellow at both Astja and Grímsvötn. Now, Krisuvik in Iceland, or I heard a lot of people calling it Meradalir because it's in the valley of Meradalir, but for now I'm just going to call it by the previous name, Geldingadalur or Fagradalsfjall. So, now, and it's very confusing with all the names. You'll hear a lot of names being thrown around, such as Krisuvik, Krisuvik is the overall volcanic system. So, there's that. Now, I wanted to show, the Global Volcanism Program released a statement earlier. It's, basically released a statement because if you remember at my last video, I did not show this, but it has updated and now we have it. So if you want to look at that, I'm not going to read this right now because I need to go to bed, but there it is if you want to read that. Now, I wanted to show since there were no major earthquakes, I don't believe that that this is like there's not a significant, in magma under the ground, there's no significance of any big earthquakes. But if they are located directly underground, then or under where the eruption is occurring, that could mean that there is more magma that is being supplied to the volcano, which is always happening, but it's just in bigger amounts. Now, I wanted to say that it's interesting because I have to say that I am very surprised by this volcanic eruption because here I will I can't show the photos, but by the what is it called? The title picture of the thumbnail of this video, you can basically see the surrounding area of the eruption. And I want to say that just a fair warning, and this is not supposed to be in any way fear-mongering, because there's not a lot of fear out of it, just that, and it's very interesting, the current eruption is emitting over 6 times more magma, or lava, more lava than the previous predecessor eruption in 2021. So this is erupting at a much faster rate of 32 cubic meters and per second, and the old one was only erupting 5 cubic meters per second in the previous eruption of 2021. So there is a likelihood that, and don't take this the wrong way and say that, oh, this must mean the eruption is going to be shorter, because it is not. Most likely. We don't obviously know everything that's going on underground. However, by what we know, this is a much larger batch of magma than the predecessor eruption of 2021. So, we expect that this magma is going to flow into the ocean down here, like we thought in 2021 the eruption was going to. There's just a higher likelihood of that happening. And then, secondly, there's bigger news around the fissure. Eventually, the eruption is going to be sectioning off into one main edifice, or one main crater, so keep an eye out for that. And lastly, I will start with the PNSN, or Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. So, I do want to note that Mount St. Helens, you may have seen the previous videos of mine about this earthquake swarm, and I do have to say that this is not yet totally confirmed what is going on around here. We don't know if these earthquakes are occurring because we don't know if these earthquakes are occurring due to a new batch of magma that is being supplied to Mount St. Helens. Although we do know that the magma chamber is refilling. But there's a lot of questionable activity that is going on, like small earthquakes that are not hydrothermal in origin, and there is a lot of suspicious activity, and we don't know what is entirely going on. And therefore, I would still say that Mount St. Helens is undergoing a process of unusual and not below or above background activity levels. So that's why. Not enough to raise the alert status, but yeah. So as you can see, in January and March of January through like April of 2022, there was a lot of earthquakes, and that was it. The whole why it was created that video, and why a lot of other creators created that video or any video similar to talking about Mount St. Helens. And right here, as you can see, we are starting a new phase of activity. And what is very suspicious about this is that, as you can see from here, some earthquakes were occurring at depths of 4 to 6 kilometers, which is basically, I don't have the exact measurements, but that is like around, 3.5 miles, which is where, or 4 miles is where the magma chamber to Mount St. Helens is like starting. So that's why it's very suspicious. However, you cannot really say anything, and although I do have to say that Mount St. Helens, along with this trend of earthquakes, the gas emissions are going up, which means that there's definitely not or above background levels of activity going on. And yeah, there's not a lot of activity on the globe, so most pretty seismically quiet for the night. I mean, obviously a lot of earthquakes in Alaska, and a few earthquakes in the New Madrid fault zone and the not Carolina, but somewhere near this. So, at that, I'm going to say good night. I have to get to bed, so yeah. Bless you all, and